We're going to talk about the potential for government shutdown and what that means for the ag industry and so much more on today's episode of the Arkansas AgCast, which starts right now.
You're listening to the Arkansas AgCast, where we discuss the latest news, trends, and issues impacting Arkansas farmers and ranchers. Our show is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau Federation and hosted by Jason Brown and John Nickman.
Howdy, howdy, it's Thursday.
Hello.
We are back. Normal day, normal time this week. Hopefully you'll have a show by...
Normal day.
Yeah, normal day. We're recording in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's probably because of me. I think the last 2 weeks because of me.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think that's a testament to how important I am to this show.
It is, and how flexible the
You are.
podcast team can be. No, I promise you, nobody's ever going to get mad at having a little extra time to prep for the show.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm
It takes
pretty slow.
a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to get the show ready each week.
A little procrastination on my part, maybe.
Well, no, you were busy. You had
I am important, aren't
you
I?
had dad
Yeah.
duties today.
Yeah, I did.
Well, how's everybody's week going?
All things considered, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We thought Tone had stomach virus yesterday, but I think he just ate something bad.
That happens with a 1-year-old.
It was just like, he got sick.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh man, here it goes, because we've been hearing it's going around.
Yeah.
And then it just didn't happen again.
Oh, awesome.
And yesterday he was just happy
Just
as he could
fine.
be.
Yeah.
Just walked it off. I don't know.
Yeah. That's
Crawled
what
it off,
was.
I guess, if
That's
you want to say
what it
that.
was. That's what it was. This is your last day.
It
Not
is.
ever.
Yeah, right. Well, for a
Breaking
while
news.
anyway. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is becoming
For
more
a
and more
week.
rare anymore. So,
Yeah.
But yeah,
For a week.
I'm excited.
You're headed
all
out
good.
the door. Got anything fun playing?
Nah.
Okay.
No, nothing.
Just a bunch of downtime.
Yeah, it's
Lawn work.
I'm just going to a little concert, so
Oh, okay.
it'll be good.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, lots of fun.
Who you going to see?
You too.
You two. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
That'll be good.
Yeah, going to the Sphere.
Ah,
The Sphere in Vegas.
Vegas,
And
yeah.
Never been to Vegas, so we'll see.
nor have I.
And you've never been to the Sphere because it's brand new, right?
Very true.
Yeah.
You are correct, sir.
It has been. I've seen some things on the internet. It shows some crazy images on there that look very realistic.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Basketball, smiley face, all sorts of stuff.
And crazy
gotta
thing
look
is
this place
that's all just the outside.
yeah.
It does the same thing on the inside.
Really?
And so,
Fascinating.
yeah, it's going to be great.
Is this one of those like Dubai type buildings?
It's,
You know what I mean? Just the most extravagant, technologically advanced.
It is the largest screen ever built.
Really?
Basically, it's just everywhere you look is nothing but
Screen.
screen.
Oh, I'm looking
and,
at the website right
and
now.
speakers.
How many
it's-
pixels do you think are in the Sphere?
Oh, that's a Brian question, not a Jason question.
In
there's-
or out outside the Sphere?
What?
How many pixels do you think are inside the Sphere?
Oh man,
Is there more on the outside?
you're
Surely.
getting into trivia questions now.
Yeah.
So
How
you
many
are.
total pixels are within
there
the
are
structure of the Sphere?
billions of
Man, that's
pixels.
just-
Probably
The
It's-
eyeball is pretty jarring.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
eyeball. That's what
Just
I was
imagine
saying.
driving down. You're driving down the strip and
Yeah.
you see this big
Oh, the
eye
The
pumpkin
staring
pumpkin.
at
too,
you.
The
yeah.
pumpkin's a good
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
If y'all hadn't seen this, you need to look up Sphere.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's Sphere Las Vegas. The
Yeah.
cool thing, crazy thing. This is the first of many they're going to build.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it
It's
a
a-
company or is it one of the casinos?
It's like a billionaire entrepreneur. He's starting a new entertainment venue, and this is the first to launch. And he's going to do, I think he said Paris, probably one in Dubai. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They get
that
everything
does
there.
that does feel
But,
exactly like a Dubai type of thing.
Yeah, they're going to build several of them around the world, and they're it's concerts, movies.
Yeah, so this is not just a show. This is going to be a whole immersive experience, I would assume.
Exactly. He contracted U2 to help launch it.
Okay. Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
that's a contract.
they're iconic and
Yeah.
been around for a while, and so they signed up for 8 shows originally, sold out immediately, and I was lucky enough to get in there.
Oh man, can you imagine watching like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings in there?
Oh, I might never leave.
Would you want to do that, Jason?
Oh yeah, buddy, sign me up.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that they preview a few things like that while I'm sitting there. Be like,
Yeah.
I found my home.
Oh, you know that part of
where
this
it's
is
meant to be.
marketing the
Oh.
facility. So the build up to is not just going to be U2.
Oh,
it's going to
absolutely.
be
Well,
like credits at the movies or whatever.
Yeah.
Or not credits, but trailers.
Star's not as big a U2 fan as I am, so I start telling her about this trip that I got us, and she's
That I
hearing
got
U2,
us,
and she's like,
me,
yeah,
us.
exactly. And then she goes, well, I'll go for you. That'll be good. And we've never been to Vegas. But then as I started telling her, she started seeing this stuff about the Sphere. And she goes, have you seen this thing? It's like, that's where we're going. And she goes, no way.
Oh, she's into it.
And then all of a sudden, she's been talking about it more. So now she's kind of excited to see it and stuff. But then she started finding out all the different shows. And there's nature shows and different
That'd be
things they're
cool.
going to be doing. She's more interested in that. We'll already be gone.
yeah, could we see the swamp documentary?
Yeah,
that you guys are
exactly.
playing?
So, but it's just think IMAX. You think IMAX and
Yeah.
then multiply it by like
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
10. It's huge. Just
See, I
it's-
thought you were until now. I thought you were just going to see Las Vegas or U2 in Las Vegas.
Right.
Like cool.
Right.
Fine. Whatever.
right, which in and of itself would be fun. But
Sure,
it's,
exactly.
no, this is
But
launching.
now I'm like,
This is the first you've heard of this,
for sure,
man.
buddy. I'm gonna tell you, I don't. I just live in my own world.
I thought you were up on the news.
No, that's the first I've heard
Yeah.
of it. Well, all right. So, question:
Yes.
when do you think you bought your first U2 music?
Music.
I'll say album.
Okay. All right.
Was it on tape?
It could have been single. Like,
No, it was LP. And it was Joshua Tree. Because up to that point, I had been recording on tape or something like that from, a friend of mine would give me, listen to this, you need to try this, or I'd borrow one of their cassettes or LPs or whatever and
Yeah.
listen. So I've been a fan since their,
so that was '87. Joshua Tree came.
exactly. I've been a fan since their War album.
Uh-huh.
That was kind of when I started coming on the scene with them, first started hearing about them, but been a fan ever since.
Yeah. They are one of those bands that like eclipse the talent sphere, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, like, even you look at bands like, I don't know, I'll just say Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin
Yeah.
was huge because of their talent, but I don't feel like they ever got to that level
Yeah.
that U2 is at, where you're into humanitarian stuff and you're into, all that kind of thing.
How old is Bono now?
He's in his 60s.
Oh, is he that old? Wow.
Yeah.
Then who's their lead guitarist?
Edge.
Yeah, Edge. He's pretty talented.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
What was that documentary? It had like Led Zeppelin's lead guitarist, Edge, guy from White Stripes.
Jack White.
Yeah.
It might get loud.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
really good.
Brian and I have talked about that before.
Yeah.
There's one scene in there that I think you stopped short of where Edge starts playing a U2 song. I don't know. Beautiful Day, we'll call it. I don't know for sure that was it. And then they walk through and they start turning off every effect and module and everything. Do you remember this?
Yep.
And it gets down to just him playing literally a Fender Strat. And it's like the simplest,
Yeah. Yeah.
GCD or
Yeah.
whatever that you could think of. But, and I know people think about that differently. And
Right.
y'all know I'm a music nerd. And people are like, is that really talent if you're using all that? But I tell you what, the talent that it takes to put all that stuff
man.
together and to build that
Well, he had a
sound
giant
is
board, didn't he,
incredible.
in that-
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It does. Well, that's how I became such a fan of them, because it's not their albums are fantastic, but the recording quality and stuff, it was hit and miss on some of it, and they've even talked about it some.
Yeah.
And that's why they've gone back and remastered them all and started re-releasing them to get them what they wanted them to be. But they're as good as their albums were and their songs. they're a live band.
Yeah, right.
And you feel everything, and they definitely make you a part of it. So the exciting thing is the concert that they're putting on, or the music they're playing is the Octung Baby stuff, which is all the Zoo TV stuff that they did in the early 90s. Mm-hmm. And that's the one I took my brother to down in Dallas. And we actually got to meet them before the concert. And my brother has a yearbook photo of him with the Edge.
Really?
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Is cool.
So,
I think bands like that are okay. One of my favorite bands ever is North Mississippi All Stars, and I don't care if I ever hear one of their studio records, but I'd go see them every time they come to town.
Some bands are just like that, you know. It's live. It's where it's at.
Yeah, it's all right. Well, are you going to Vegas or anything this weekend?
No. Anthony's birthday
is
tomorrow.
One might argue even bigger.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've got a big day. His first birthday ever. It's tomorrow.
It only happens once.
Yeah.
The first.
So we have his birthday party Saturday. We're going to watch Roserbacks play.
Okay.
The theme is Little Piggy Picnic.
Little Piggy Picnic. I like that.
So,
you came up with that.
No.
You didn't. Okay.
No, that was my wife.
Are we having pork?
No, I offered to smoke smoke some pork butts, and that got shot down because kids were coming in. They needed Chick-fil-A. So that's what I've
So
told.
you're having chicken at a Little Piggy Picnic?
Yeah, yep. Mm-hmm. well, we're not going to serve the little piggies at the Little Piggy Picnic, I guess. You know, so.
Interesting.
So hopefully the Razorbacks pull it off. Sam, Coach Pittman, that's what Anthony wants for his birthday is a win. So,
Yeah. Okay. Well, who are they playing?
Texas A&M.
Oh yeah. In Dallas.
At Dallas.
Yeah.
Jerry's World. So
Okay. Well,
we'll see. But yeah, that's my weekend.
that's pretty fun, man. I love it. The first birthday party is that one where the kid has no clue what's happening.
Yeah, he's gonna. I'm interested to see. You go to these first birthday parties and they give the kid a little cake.
Yeah.
Right. In their high chair for them to crush. Some of them just. Then some of them just kind of like, I don't know what that is.
Our daughter
I don't
did
wanna
not
touch that. I wonder what he's gonna do.
Yeah, she didn't hardly touch it. I
He
remember
likes to.
my wife coming up on the high chair and like putting her hand in it or whatever, and she's like, that's kind of gross. I don't wanna do that anymore.
I think Anthony's gonna like it. I think. I could be wrong though.
Yeah.
I think
He's kind of a messy eater.
I think we have a photo of every grandkid so far. They have all just head first. It's completely caked.
Yeah.
It's all over their face.
That's funny.
Pretty funny.
Yeah. So
That's
we'll
funny.
see. As long as the Razorbacks win and he has a good time, our attendees have a good time, and all the kids have a good time.
Yeah.
It'll be a good time.
Are y'all?
It's gonna be hot though.
Are you getting him anything?
Yeah. What did we get him? I can't tell you because he might be listening.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's a real good call.
Nice.
Well,
he's a big fan.
My kiddo celebrated a birthday yesterday.
Oh,
and, she's of the age. This is like big girl room time. She's 8.
Yeah.
And so Heather, my wife, has been buying all this stuff, and we did a bed and a desk and all the decorations, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what's Dad gonna get her? So I'm searching around, and she's big into music. Speaking of music,
Okay.
Big into music, and I set her up with like some old computer speakers back in the winter that plug into her Alexa or whatever, so she can listen to music a little louder.
Yeah.
Well, apparently she got into that too much because they didn't last too long. They busted.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So she got I haven't even told you this, a proper set of studio monitors.
Oh man, I can hear it now.
That are powered. The two of them.
Subwoofer
And so
on 'em?
those came in. Yeah.
Oh,
So those
wow.
came in yesterday, and I hooked them. And Heather's like, "Those aren't white. They don't match." And I'm like, "No, they don't, do they?" She's like, "You are messing up the entire vibe in here." I'm like, "I don't care." So we turn on the speakers. Sorry, we turn on the speakers, and they've come with a remote, and I cranked it up. And she's just like walked out of the room. She's so frustrated.
So next year you got to buy her a set of drums.
Oh yeah. Oh well, there's a drum kit next.
So
door.
There's already drums.
You're saying it's not going to be you. It might be Heather from the other room. Turn that crap down.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm telling you, it's so loud.
Turn it down.
Yeah. And so anyway, I was pretty proud of myself for getting her that, because she'll turn on whatever.
Well, it's always going to be your fault now.
Man,
if you wouldn't have gotten her those speakers.
If a kid can't listen to loud music,
and
just dance around their room,
exactly.
That's true. Know?
That is hilarious that the speaker color came up. That happens in our house too.
She's like, those aren't white. Everything, like, I don't care. Like, they're speakers,
That is great.
So anyway, all right. Well, I guess we better get on with it. We got a lot to talk about today.
Yeah.
A couple things before we get too far in. We've got that calendar events that we kind of talked about last week. And a couple notable events there is the State Fair. I know there's a lot of talk going on around the office right now about the Arkansas State Fair, October 13th through the 22nd. For those of you who in the past have watched the PR team go out and give you a sort of breakdown of the food scene at the State Fair, we still plan to do that on October 12th. You have sort of self-invited yourself.
I have.
Self-invited yourself. You've invited yourself to that
making
party.
Sure they know that I'm coming.
You're wishing to be an honorary member that day.
And I'm going to be on camera, whether you like it or not.
Well, if you come along, we're going to have to call it a little piggy party.
Yeah. There's a lot of piggy to eat out there, I can assure you. Let me see, what else? We got the Arkansas Farm Bureau 89th Annual Convention, November 29th through December 1st. I know there's also a ton of work going on about that right now. And then, if you are interested, the Arkansas Ag Hall of Fame has opened up nominations for this year or next year's class, and those are open right now at arkansasaghalloffame.org. Submit someone who you believe should be considered for the Arkansas Ag Hall of Fame. Again, arkansasaghalloffame.org. The deadline to submit your your nomination is November 1st. I guess you could apply, put yourself in there. But November 1st. So get that in there. And then I think that's it on events. Anything else before we get into crop quality and harvest?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. All right. Well, you're full of energy today. I had to get a coffee. I'm not going to lie. I was coming back from lunch. I'm like, I need a little bit of coffee. I didn't have any this morning. So
I was given a sausage biscuit right before lunch. And it was a lot of biscuit. So it may be weighing me down a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I did have to go upstairs and grab lunch. And she said, I've been making breakfast and lunch for the past 2 days.
Yeah.
She said, I'm whooped. So it must have come from upstairs.
Yeah, I think it was.
All right. Well, in that case, let's get into crop quality and harvest updates. And we'll let me see. We'll kick off with corn. How about that? The state corn crop is nearly complete with 88% harvested. We're ahead of last year and the 5-year average. We saw a big jump over last week when we were just at 72% completed, 88% on Tuesday, which means, goodness, we may be close to 95%.
I mean, you called it last week. You said we'd jump about 10%.
Yeah, I got lucky. Just a couple more weeks before I think we call that a wrap. Looking at rice, we've harvested about 60% of the state's acres. With the total crop headed out and 92% of it mature. We're trending with the last year and the 5-year, but the crop quality continues to look great at 3/4 in the good to excellent rating. Soybeans are at 20% harvested. That was huge. That's double what we had done last week, but still a bit behind last year in the 5-year. 78% of the crop is coloring and another 55% dropping leaves. The crop is in decent condition with about 54% rated good to excellent, and that's actually down a little bit over last week's report. We've got another 35% rated as fair, which is also more than we had in that fair column last week, probably coming down from that good to excellent.
Yeah.
And then, there's so I think we're starting to see maybe some quality concerns. It's tough to tell with only 20% harvested, but
yeah, we went to Phillips County last weekend. Sorry, I got my thoughts crossed up. But
okay.
It looked like a lot of beans were ready.
Yeah, I think folks are just when you've got rice and beans, they want to get that rice out and corn too. I guess,
yeah, and then some people told me they'd caught up to their rice or their soybeans. They were done with corn.
Yeah,
so just had a point.
Yeah, we're headed up around Randolph. this weekend, northeast Arkansas and Lawrence County, and I'm betting that we see folks still cutting corn and rice up there.
Probably so.
All right, cotton's almost completely opened up. The state and harvest has bumped up to 5% done. We're slightly behind the 5-year, but ahead of last year still. The crop looks to be in good shape with more than 70% of acres rated good to excellent. And then we'll wrap up with peanuts today with more than 3/4 of the crop rated good to excellent. Harvest took a big jump this week with 20% dug and 4% harvested. Other than that, I'll just say river levels continue to be a concern here. We're hearing a basis at 1.5 below, with some time restrictions being placed at elevators, meaning don't bring grain past, a certain time of day. The river's projected to only get lower in the next couple of weeks. You're going to talk about this today, so I don't want to get too far into it, but it's likely going to become a much more dire situation as grain is added to bins and storage is, starting to, lose or fill up around the state. I couldn't find the word there. Speaking for Little Rock, I saw this morning and thought I'd throw this in. September will go down as one of the top 10 driest months on record. In Little Rock,
I don't doubt it.
In Little Rock, we've had less than a half inch of rain all month, and I can tell you, we were expecting big rain twice last week, and we've still only gotten a half an inch all month. So
that's terrible.
It's not good, man.
It's tough out there.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well that's it for crop quality and harvest.
Let's do some news.
All right, let's do it.
Well, we'll stick with kind of the row crop theme here.
Okay.
I've got some good news regarding corn exports.
Oh, nice.
It was recently announced that Mexico has secured 64.5 million bushels of U.S. corn. The purchase will be split between 41.3 million bushels for the current marketing year and another 24 million bushels for the 2024-25 marketing year. So they are even buying into the future.
Yeah.
This is particularly good to see given ongoing USMCA trade disputes between U.S. and Mexico. Mm-hmm. Mexico's purchase marks the largest daily sale on record and third largest sale of corn to the country. The USMCA trade dispute has primarily been focused on corn for human consumption, specifically white corn, but this purchase is destined for Mexico's livestock industry as animal feed. Mm. The push for importing so much corn is due to Mexico's lack of domestic production. The country's largest farmers warned that they wouldn't be able to meet the local demand this year. Under the current administration, Mexico's agriculture ministry's budget has been cut by a third, and subsidies previously provided to those larger farmers almost entirely eliminated. Mm. Can you imagine the subsidies that farmers here have the luxury of being cut? Mm. These farmers account for 2/3 of the country's corn production. So they don't have a choice this year, but to and ongoing for the next few years, but to purchase from outside the country, at least large sums of it. Another reason for such a large commitment is that Mexico may fear U.S. corn production could be falling in the future, and we've already seen that kind of with the record production in Brazil and other outside countries. If production does fall, in theory, yet again, we're going to talk about this in every show, prices will increase and thus be more expensive in the future. Yeah. So what would that become?
Locking that in. That's a supply and demand issue.
There you go. We did it. But yeah, I think that's pretty good news for the corn crop, corn exports in the U.S., given that Brazil's having a record production. We've kind of had some issues with corn production here in the country. So, and also with those trade disputes that we've had with Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really interesting to see purchase rather than subsidized there for production. I wonder what that says about production costs.
And I'd also read that they use the white corn for human consumption, and they're also concerned in Mexico that they're not going to meet that demand either with production within the country.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, something we'll have to watch. That certainly grabbed our eye when we saw that record purchase down there, and especially I think there's been some dispute or conversation about GMO and how that plays in.
Yeah, that was with the white corn.
Okay.
I don't think there's so much concerned with animal feed.
Field corn. Okay, interesting. All right, well, I've got a topic that we just simply can't ignore on the show today, especially with the deadline looming this weekend. If you guessed government shutdown watch, then you would be correct. Thanks to Mary Hightower over at the U of A Division of Ag for pulling together a unique look at the agriculture impacts of a shutdown. For the story, Mary talked to Ryan Loy, who's an extension economist for the Division of Ag. And for starters, Ryan Loy said that a government shutdown could remove price and revenue safety nets for farmers and mean higher food prices for consumers. Mary reports, goodness, I can't read today. Mary reports that funding for the federal government runs out, of course, on September 30th, unless Congress passes a continuing resolution or finds some other means to keep funds flowing. If the government shuts down, so too would progress toward the next farm bill. The Farm Bill has provisions with two sets of expiration dates, September 30th and December 31st. One major impact predicted here by Loy is that certain agencies serving farmers would cease operations. Agencies like FSA, NRCS, and Rural Development Centers specifically. So in a shutdown scenario, if you're a farmer trying to sign up for a program, that won't happen since the agency would not be open. Another effect is that two key agencies, the Bureau of Labor Statistics and NASS, National Agricultural Statistics Service, will also be closed and won't be collecting statistics, which means no payments issued. I'll add to that, maybe not a crop progress report on this show. The shutdown would halt funding for ARC and PLC, and we all know that these are some of the programs that provide protections to farmers in the event of substantial revenue or commodity price drops. No funding means no payments for farmers here. To wrap up, we know the impacts would go well beyond ag, of course, but these are just a few examples of how we would feel a shutdown here in the ag community. So, at this point, we've got until midnight Saturday night, I guess, Sunday morning, however you want to look at that, and it doesn't seem. I think the Farm Bill is a foregone conclusion. We're not going to pass a Farm Bill. So all eyes are on whether or not they pass some sort of funding mechanism or extension.
It feels like this is happening more and more every year.
Yeah, it really
Each year this is more like it comes down to the wire.
Yeah.
You just want to hope that one day they can just all get along,
Wouldn't that be nice?
That sure would be.
Hey, let's bring him in here.
We'll sit down and talk to him,
won't we? All right. Well, let's take a short break from the news. Speaking of, if you've considered running for public office and want to get involved in fun things like this conversation, we've got some great news. Registration is now open for our How to Win Election seminar.
That's right. This seminar teaches how to evaluate the candidate and the electorate, build a campaign structure, raise money, and how to get voter attention, plus much more. Fun fact, Jason.
All right.
According to the American Farm Bureau, candidates who have been through the program have a 75% winning percentage.
Oh, nice. The seminar takes place right here at our office on October 17th and 18th, and registration is already open. It only costs $225 to attend, and that includes the classes and meals during the program. All jokes aside here, to learn more or register, this is a great program. Just go to ARFB.com and search How to Win an Election today. But you better get signed up because registration will close on October 13th. All right, well, let's get back to the news. I think I'm up.
Yes.
And the last one for me today. Let's check in with Senator Boozman and the Farm Bill, courtesy of Alex Thomas with the Arkansas Democrat Gazette. Like we said, Farm Bill, I don't know that we're going to hit that. We're not going to have a new Farm Bill by Saturday. No. But let's see what's going on. So Alex's reporting notes that Senator Boozman has spent a part of his Congress traveling across the country. We've talked about some of this here to hear the needs and concerns of ag stakeholders. His latest stop was in the president's home state of Delaware. While in the first state, Senator Boozman noted a key common thread in Arkansas and Delaware. I learned something, by the way, writing this story. Both states have a significant portion of their ag portfolios in chicken and broiler production.
Did not know that.
But Arkansas's head count of chicken and broilers is exponentially larger than that of its counterpart in the Northeast, 4.5 times larger to be exact.
Yeah, I believe that.
The Delaware trip marked the 15th stop that Senator Boozman has made in relation to passing a new farm bill. just this week, he was in Florida to talk with ag stakeholders in the Sunshine State. The last farm bill passed was in December 2018 when Republicans controlled both chambers and the White House. The task this year looks much different with the chambers split between Democrats and Republicans control and with a Democrat in the White House.
Yeah.
As we mentioned earlier, the current farm bill expires on Saturday at midnight, the end of the federal fiscal year. Previously, Senator Boozman has mentioned January 1 as his last possible date. His drop, I think he referred to it as air quotes, drop dead date to pass a new bill. But he noted that it's important to get the bill right.
Yes.
One of the senator's main focuses has been on the risk management piece of the farm bill, and this is very important. Consistently, he notes that the existing law uses numbers based on 2012 statistics, meaning the safety net hasn't kept up with rising production costs and inflation.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so there we go. There's a farm bill update. Senator Boozman continued to be out working on that again in Florida this week. He was in Delaware last week, and so anyway, the work goes on there.
Well, it's interesting to see him take such a stance on something in the farm bill.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
But good he is. Last one.
Yeah, how about it?
Yeah. So we'll conclude, like Jason said, I was going to talk about the low water in the Mississippi River level and how it's affecting grain transportation costs.
All right.
Daniel Munch, he's an ag economist for American Farm Bureau out of D.C.
Oh, nice.
Published a detailed article today explaining how low water levels on the Mississippi River are having more of an impact than they did last year. And we've kind of talked about that here already in the past few weeks. As most of our listeners remember, the Mississippi River hit record lows last year during harvest, which disrupted transportation of grain destined for export markets. As a result, we saw dramatic increases in barge rates and widening of basis. This in turn forced producers to hold on to grain in hopes that water levels and prices would rise or be forced to take less than adequate prices due to the widening of basis, which Tyler Oxner and I wrote a very detailed article on last year. Hopefully we can put something out this year, so I'll be looking for that.
Yeah, will do.
However, difficult that was on row crop industry last year. So specifically corn and soybeans this year has proved to be even worse or is proving to be. The Army Corps of Engineers reports the stage or height of the river's surface relative to the zero stage level of 379 feet above standard sea level. And in Munch's article, he uses St. Louis's water gauge as an example where the river is at 1.13 feet above sea level. This is 46% lower than the prior 3-year average of 4.27 feet and 24% lower or 24% below last year's level of 1.49 feet on the same day. So we're even worse than what we were last year.
Right.
He goes on to say that for the month of September, the average daily stage at this same location has been minus 3.02 feet, which is over 3 times lower than August's number and over 2 feet lower than the same period last year.
Goodness.
Just like last year, in response to low water levels, draft allowances or the depth a barge may sink into the water has been reduced, as well as a decrease in the sizes or the number of barges in a single boat can tow. So you can't fill boats as much as you could.
Yeah, right.
And you can't push as many downriver. That's what that is.
Which means, I bet, it's more expensive
Yes.
to move them.
Correct. Since September 18th, between Cairo, Illinois, and the Gulf of Mexico, average loading draft Scott barges are down 24%, and average tow sizes are down 17%. This means that more barges will be needed to move the same quantity of grain, and more boats will be needed to move similar groups of barges, making transportation less efficient, just like you said.
Yeah.
This issue is causing transportation costs to increase, as well as creating 2 to 3 day transit delays down the river.
Wow.
Yeah. The U.S. Inland Waterway System utilizes a percent of tariff system to establish large barge freight rates, and these tariffs are used as benchmarks for barge rates at all regions of the river. I think there's like 5 or 6 different regions of the river that they specifically have.
Yeah. Yep.
Although Munch does a very good job of explaining the origin in the calculation of barge rates in his article, to save some time here, I won't go into that detail.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's more math than I'm personally capable of, probably. So I have no right into explaining it to you all today. So if you want more detail on that and how these rates are applied or brought up, calculated, go to his website or go to afbf.org.
There you go.
However, barge tariffs for the week of August 16th reached 401% of their underlying tariff, which is well in line with last year at the same time, or for the same week. But for the week of September 11th, rates ticked up to 900% of their underlying tariff. Last year, during the same week, rates were 779% of their underlying tariff. That is a 121% difference, and a clear sign that we are in a worse position than we were last year this time. Just to end here, to give a little bit more statistics, barge grain movements for the week ending September 24th at St. Louis totaled 68,900 tons. This was 16% less than the previous week and 41% less than the same period last year. For the previous week, 81 grain barges moved downriver, 25 fewer than last week. Also, there were 516 grain barges unloaded in New Orleans, which is 2% lower than last week.
Yeah.
So all that to say, this river is having a much more difficult time moving grain down river than we did last year. And there's not any good news or weather.
I was going to say, I've looked at the two. Frankly,
these numbers are going to increase in the wrong direction.
In the wrong direction. I was looking, frankly, a little bit selfishly at when's it going to cool down.
Yeah.
But as part of that, notice that there is no rain in sight. I mean, there's no chance of it.
And I was talking to a farmer the other day on the phone that's already taking hits on basis, and trying to hold grain's difficult if you don't have the room. And I think this is a conversation we're going to have for the next several weeks on the show.
I can see on my weather app out to October 12th, and there's 2 days with a chance, and those are 60% chances.
Yeah.
So,
well, I wonder what the forecast is up in like the Ohio River, Missouri River, Illinois River.
I know we talked about that some on here, and I was reading a little bit about that, and they were just saying like how little that can help here. I mean, I know it will help, but it's not, having rain up there, it takes it so long, and you've got to have almost so much more to trickle down.
Yeah.
I say trickle down, but to flow down to here. Anyway, it's a tough situation. Like I said, I don't think we're hearing a ton about it right now because there's still storage open.
The one thing that concerned me most of reading the article was not what I read, but what I saw in his graph that he gave, that Daniel gave, and it was, I think, starting at 2020 or 2021 of the river levels through our harvest weeks, and each year at this week in time for the past 3 or 4 years, the river level significantly was lower than it was the year before. So it's a trend. Yeah, it was very visible, a trend that this river's going lower and lower every year. And I can't imagine it being any lower than it is today.
Yeah.
But I said that last year too.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
So
That's
I'm
the
worried.
main highway. I mean, for soybeans and corn right there, buddy. So anyway, all right. Well, that wraps up the news. But I know it does not wrap up the show. So hopefully Brian can make us feel a little bit more positive.
No, it never does.
We shall see. We shall see.
Oh, I know. I went back and watched a little bit of last week, and are you smarter than a fifth grader?
I liked how you put in like the description of the show that specifically about Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts? I cannot take credit for that. And but I will tell you, the person who did that asked me today if I would write a title for the show.
Yeah.
And I said yes, because I will. Mm-hmm. But I would have never put Pop-Tarts in the title before.
And who would have thought we'd have talked about Pop-Tarts?
Yeah.
And
so I don't know.
My phone must have been listening.
You've been getting ads for Pop-Tarts?
No. Like a question or something, a video popped up on one of my social media feeds about, have you ever put butter on your Pop-Tart? And if you haven't, you should. And talk about how great it was.
That's awesome.
I've never done that before. Matter of fact, I don't think I need to do that.
Right. I'm glad it's still affecting you today. So
it lives
that's
on.
Cool. Yeah, that's good. That's,
gift that keeps
the Pop-Tart moment lives on. So, but yes, that's right, campers. It is time once again for
Stump the Host.
Yes. He did it.
Yes.
It's a highlight of my week.
So, you guys liked Smarter Than a Fifth Grader.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
let's continue, shall we?
I thought you were gonna go even
thought you
lower
was
to like
third
third grade.
Well,
This is gonna be bad.
it is so funny that you say that because I almost did. I almost did, but I thought no, I'll keep it at 5th grade level.
That's funny.
But it is math related.
I just admitted.
I know.
You
almost
wasn't
had
good at
to-
math.
You almost had to bleep me.
Well, inside I was laughing as you're
Math.
saying math.
Yeah,
so
sure.
But hopefully these won't be too bad. So
We need scrap
Let's
paper
see.
and pencil.
you can get it if you want. I'll let you cheat. How many inches are there in 2 yards?
Well, there's in 1 yard, there's 32 inches, right?
72.
So 64.
72. Very good.
72? Oh, well,
Very good. Very good.
You can probably hear me on the microphone if you're listening.
5th grade level is working so far. So here we go.
And I was so proud of myself. Still just
there's
fifth grade.
There's 36 inches, right? And then
Yeah.
yeah.
go.
In a
There you
yard.
go.
I said 32.
I tried to keep some of them simple.
Yeah.
So how many sides does a quadrangle have?
4.
Very good. Very good.
What?
Okay.
A what?
A quadrangle.
What's a quadrangle?
I don't know. I just heard quad.
Yeah,
That was the key part of it.
I was thinking like a 4-dimensional
the
triangle.
wrangle threw you off.
All right, let's ramp it up just a little bit. What whole number is the closest to the square root of 65?
64.
I knew that one was going to be a good one. The closest number to the square root of 65.
I wouldn't. I mean, 8.
Look at you, bang.
Well,
Really?
64,
Yeah, it's 8.
Yeah.
Good. 3 for 3
Well,
for Jay Brown. All right.
That was tough.
All right. Let me find one here. How many seconds make 1.5 hours?
That's too much.
Quick math. Let's go.
Yeah, that would be
60 seconds times 60
Yeah, 6.
times. No, that would be 60 seconds times 90 minutes, right? So what would that math be?
9 times
0,
6
0.
would be 5,400.
There you go. Very good. Very good.
That's carrying my 0.
We're doing a lot of math in
I
our
know.
house, and I was like, add that 0 on there. Do the multiplication, then just add
In my
the 0.
defense,
That's
I'm
so
pretty
good.
sure I announced last week that I cannot do math without a calculator.
By the way, John Bailey, I will be applying for an economist position.
There you go. All right. I got to do one more.
Okay.
So this is a word problem here.
Oh, boy.
If a shopping cart contains 1 apple, 2 bananas, 3 oranges, and 4 hot dogs, 1 apple,
That card is gross.
1 apple,
Uh-huh.
2 bananas, 3 oranges, and 4 hot dogs. What percentage of the cart's total contents is fruit?
60%.
Yeah.
Jay Brown is winner chicken dinner
He's
all
a
day
quick
long.
one.
There you go.
Wow.
You are indeed smarter or as smart
That's
as
smart
a
ass.
5th grader. So congratulations. Congratulations.
Well, the problem is problems like that usually want you to be doing the math as it's being read to distract you.
I'm a very slow person, physically and mentally. So I'm not quick to anything.
Here's my challenge. I can do stuff like that. That's just kind of like, it's basically just a memory thing or whatever.
Entirely.
But when it comes to, if you put an equation in front of me, buddy, college algebra almost kept me from graduating college.
See, I can run
getting
through
a
an
degree.
equation step by
Well, that's
step.
what I figured
It's
because it's
more
a different.
formal,
yeah, it's more formal. That where I can just kind of add or subtract however I need to get the answer.
Very good.
I need to see it too.
Yeah.
That's the toughest part is doing that in the air, right?
Very
In the cloud.
In the cloud.
all in the cloud.
Yeah, this is a definite cloud up here. I can assure you.
Very
that.
cloudy out there.
Very cloudy. All right. Well, that wraps up the news for this week. Thanks for following along with the Arkansas AgCast. We're grateful for you taking the time to watch and listen.
Remember, you can catch new episodes of the show every Thursday afternoon. Find video episodes on Facebook and YouTube. Listen to the audio version wherever you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, make sure to subscribe and leave us a review when you have a few extra minutes. The Arkansas AgCast is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau. I'm Jason Brown.
And I'm John McMinn.
And we'll see you next week.